Everyday English Podcast
by English Talking Today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Talking Today, the solo podcast dedicated to helping you feel more comfortable and confident when you speak English. I'm your host, Mary, and today we're tackling one of the biggest challenges for any language learner: how to actually improve your English speaking. It's a question I get all the time, and it's understandable why. Many learners can read and write English quite well. Maybe they score high on grammar tests, but when it comes time to open their mouths and speak, they freeze up. We're going to talk about why that happens and give you a powerful set of practical techniques you can start using today to speak better. First, let's acknowledge why speaking is so difficult. It's a very different skill from reading or listening. When you read, you can take your time. When you listen, you don't have to produce anything. Speaking, however, is live. It's immediate, and it forces you to put everything, vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, together in real time. This pressure leads to the number one problem: the fear of making mistakes. I hear this constantly. People are afraid of being laughed at, or worse, being misunderstood. You worry, will my grammar be wrong, or will my pronunciation sound silly? This fear is a huge wall that stops the words from coming out. Another major reason is a simple lack of readiness. It's not just a lack of vocabulary, it's a lack of vocabulary and simple phrases readily available. You know the word hungry, but do you have the phrase, I'm absolutely starving, or I could eat a horse, ready to go? If you don't have those chunks of language ready, you have to stop and think about the grammar, and that slows you down. Finally, and most obviously, many learners simply have a severe lack of speaking practice. You can't get good at swimming by reading a book about it, right? You have to get in the water. It's the same with speaking. Before we dive into techniques, we have to talk about confidence, because confidence is the engine that drives your English speaking. I'm not talking about fake confidence. I'm talking about the kind of confidence that allows you to focus on communication rather than worrying about small grammar mistakes. Think of it this way. A confident speaker might say, "Yesterday, I went to the park and see many dogs," using the wrong verb tense. A nervous speaker might spend 5 seconds trying to remember saw, panic, and then say nothing at all. Which one communicated more? The confident one. Confidence is built through practice. The more you speak, the more you realize that people usually understand you, and the more confident you feel. It's a self-feeding loop. A quick tip for when you feel that fear rising up: take a quick, deep breath before you speak. Seriously, a physical deep breath. And internally, remind yourself, it's okay to make mistakes. It is absolutely okay. Every person who speaks a second language makes mistakes, even advanced speakers. That's part of the journey. If you want to improve, you need to be consistent. Consistent, small daily practice is far more effective than large, infrequent practice. Don't try to cram an hour of speaking practice once a week. Try 10 to 15 minutes every single day. One of the best, most accessible ways to do this is to talk to yourself in English. You don't need a partner, you don't need an audience. Just narrate your life. For example, when you're getting ready in the morning, say things like, "I'm brushing my teeth now. I need to put on a blue shirt. Where are my keys?" It sounds a little crazy, I know, but you're creating a simple, continuous flow of English. You can also try practicing in front of a mirror. This gives you an audience and helps you see your own mouth movements, which can be useful for pronunciation. Try giving yourself the 1-minute talk about your favorite food or your plans for the weekend. A truly powerful tool is your smartphone. Record your voice. Pick a simple topic, maybe what I ate for breakfast, and record yourself speaking for 60 seconds. Then listen back. You'll immediately hear areas where you pause too much or where a sound isn't quite right. Don't worry about the sound being awkward. This is a small teacher giving you instant feedback. This practice is free and you can do it anywhere. It might seem strange, but listening and speaking are deeply connected. You can't produce sounds, intonation, or rhythm that you haven't heard first. Listening helps you internalize the natural flow of English, how native speakers link words together, where they place the stress, and the rise and fall of their voice, the intonation. This makes it much easier to copy that style. A specific technique I highly recommend is called shadowing. Shadowing is when you listen to a short piece of audio, a line from a podcast, a sentence from a TV show, anything, and you repeat it immediately, almost at the exact same time as the speaker. You're like a shadow. You're not worrying about the meaning. You're focusing on copying the sound, the rhythm, and the stress exactly. This technique trains your mouth and your ears simultaneously, building muscle memory for speaking English the way it actually sounds. For example, listen to a sentence like, "It's a beautiful day for a walk in the park." Instead of just listening, you try to say it right as the speaker is saying it, matching their speed and tone. Start with short, simple sentences, maybe 5 to 10 words, and repeat them 3 or 4 times. Here's a game changer for speaking naturally. Stop focusing so much on single, isolated vocabulary words. It is far more beneficial to learn chunks of language or phrases. Why? Because phrases help you sound more natural, and they allow you to speak directly without stopping to think about grammar. Think about the difference. If you learn the word tired, you still have to think, how do I use this in a sentence? Is it I am tired or I have tired? But if you learn the phrase, I'm really tired, or I'm completely worn out, you can use that entire phrase immediately. You don't have to pause. Your brain retrieves the whole phrase, not just one word. Start making lists of useful phrases for common situations. For agreeing/disagreeing, instead of yes, use that's a great point or I see what you mean, but. For asking for clarification, instead of what, use could you say that again, please, or sorry, I didn't catch that. For expressing emotion, instead of happy, use I'm over the moon or I'm in a great mood. By learning and using these ready-made phrases, you bypass the need for constant, real-time grammar construction, which speeds up your speech and makes you sound much more like a natural speaker. The ultimate barrier to fluent speaking for most people is translation. When you hear an English question, your brain translates it to your first language. You formulate an answer in your first language, and then you translate that answer back into English. This takes time, which is why your speaking is slow and often pauses. The goal is to skip the middle step. You must practice thinking directly in simple English. This might sound impossible, but you can train your brain. Start simple. As you look around your environment, describe what you see, but only in English. For example, there's a red car. The sky is gray. I am wearing comfortable shoes. Another great way to practice is by asking yourself small, continuous questions. What should I eat for dinner? Should I call my friend now? Why is it raining? These small internal dialogues force your brain to use English as its operating language. Don't worry about complex thoughts at first. Start with simple present tense and focus on connecting 2 or 3 words. This is a mental exercise, but it directly translates into faster, more natural speech when you finally open your mouth. You're building a direct connection between the thought and the English expression, bypassing the translation detour. In the past, you needed to live in an English-speaking country to practice, but now we have technology, and it provides free, powerful tools. Your phone is your language lab. First, as mentioned, use your phone's built-in voice recorder to record yourself. You can get instant feedback on your flow and pronunciation. Second, the internet is full of resources. There are countless podcasts like this one and YouTube videos specifically designed for English learners. Listen to them and try the shadowing technique we discussed. Third, look for language exchange partners or online speaking clubs. Apps and websites make it easy to connect with someone from another country who wants to learn your native language while you want to practice English. This is a mutually beneficial partnership and gives you real, low-pressure speaking practice. You can even find AI-powered apps that let you have basic conversations with a bot, which is a great, non-judgmental way to practice forming simple sentences. For example, there are apps where you can practice ordering food at a restaurant or asking for directions from a virtual character. This lets you practice common transactional language without the fear of a real person watching you struggle. I want to come back to the biggest fear, mistakes. Let me be absolutely clear. Mistakes are a natural, necessary part of learning. If you're not making mistakes, you're not trying hard enough. Mistakes show that you are pushing your language limits, you're attempting to say something complex, and you are trying to communicate. The beautiful truth is that most people are happy when a person attempts to speak their language. They do not expect perfection. They appreciate the effort. When you make a mistake, don't view it as a failure. View it as a small teacher, a piece of feedback that shows you what you need to study next. For example, if you say, "I go to the store yesterday," and your partner gently corrects you with, "Oh, you went to the store yesterday, you haven't failed." You've just received a free, personalized grammar lesson. You now have a concrete reminder to use the past tense of go. Embrace the mistake, thank the person who corrected you, and move on. To make all of this advice concrete, let's create a simple daily speaking plan. Consistency creates habit, and habit creates long-term progress. We are aiming for 10 to 15 minutes a day. As soon as you wake up, narrate your actions in English. I'm making coffee. I need to check my phone. I feel sleepy today. This warms up your English brain right away. While you're walking or taking a break, put on a podcast or YouTube video and practice shadowing a few sentences. Focus on copying the rhythm. You are actively training your mouth muscles. Give yourself a 1-minute talk about something simple. Example, you might talk about your favorite movie, a thing you saw today, and record it. Or, if you have a language partner, spend a few minutes talking with them. The key is production. If you follow this simple, broken down plan, you are practicing in different modes throughout the day, making it easy to fit in and ensuring you are consistently producing English. Finally, let's talk about motivation. You can have the best plan in the world, but if you're not motivated, you won't stick to it. You need to connect English to a real-life reason. Why do you want to speak better? Is it for travel? To get a better job? To enjoy movies without subtitles? Keep that reason in your mind. That's your fuel. Also, remember to celebrate small achievements. Did you successfully order food in English? Did you understand a complex movie line? Did you talk for 60 seconds without stopping? Give yourself a small internal cheer. Language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. Acknowledging your progress is crucial to staying energized for the long haul. So, listeners, it's time for your challenge for the week. I want you to take 2 minutes. That's 120 seconds, and talk about your day in English. Use full sentences and phrases, not just single words. Your goal is to speak continuously, even if you have to say, or I don't know the word for this. Try to avoid stopping. If possible, record yourself doing this so you can listen back later. Focus on the flow, not the perfection. Thank you so much for tuning into English Talking today. I hope this episode gives you the confidence and the tools you need to take the next step in your English speaking journey. Remember, every time you open your mouth, you're winning. I'm Mary, and I'll talk to you next time. Happy speaking!